Titans, welcome to another Form Titan video. In this video we'll talk about how to identify auto triggers in the push category. So we'll show you how to identify these in the push. So what are auto triggers? That's anything that uses a submit button. So let's say we got two buttons here for now. Okay, I've got two buttons. One's called a submit and the other one's called submit as well. However, this one, if I go to settings and basic and I set this to submit, this is now classed as an auto trigger. And this one here, which is a Salesforce action, is called a custom action. Alright, so you need to be aware of what these are called. Submit and Salesforce action. Now in the push, we've labeled them with two color. The auto triggers is in blue and the custom action is in a pink. Okay, so essentially that's really the difference here. One button is button type submit, that's an auto trigger. Other one is the Salesforce action, and that one is in pink, which is the Salesforce action, custom action. But in this video, I'll just talk about the submit option, which is the auto trigger and how it works. Let's say I wanted to create an account. So let's get this. And let's create two fields. We'll call them account name. We'll call this prospect rating, and I'll give it a default value of hot. Then we'll get a full name. And then we'll get an email. Okay, and I'll move this button up. Remember, the button type must be equal to submit for this to be an auto trigger. Okay, and it's identified with this blue icon here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up a push for them. Since this is a push category, it makes sense to do a push. So 1 second, let me just get rid of this. Make sure everything is aligned correctly. Cool. This will do for now. Alright, so we go to Salesforce integration, we go to push. You can see here in the legend, you've got auto triggers and custom actions. Now I'm going to set these up right now. I'm going to say push this into account first. And I'll add a little comment in there as well, call it auto trigger account. I'll just create and I'll map my fields. So name goes into account name and rating goes into prospect rating. I'll click apply. This has been set up. You can now see there is a blue icon right next to it, right? Which means this is a trigger. And now I'll go ahead and add a child. And child is going to be contact, and I'll say auto trigger contact. And then what I'll do is action is create, and I'll map the fields. And you can already see it's got the account ID, last name, first name, and email. And essentially that's what auto trigger really means, is that you can trigger multiple triggers within one action. Just like they say account, contact, 1.1, and they're both auto triggers, and hence it becomes blue. Alright, when does it become pink? Well, like this. You need to check this option. As soon as this is checked, it's pink. That's how you differentiate between the two. Now you click apply, save. And then let's see if we are ready to go ahead and create our account and our contact. So let me just check that for now. Bear with me. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to push this data to Salesforce. So let's go ahead and preview. We'll call this auto trigger demo. and we'll call this auto trigger child. Trigger at formtitan.com. Okay, if I now go ahead and submit, and this has now been submitted. So if I now go back into my integration logs here, and you can see there is my account that's been created. Which is the auto trigger demo, and there's my contact that's linked to it, which is the auto trigger child. Alright, so this is how it's done, that's how the auto trigger works, and that's how you can identify it in your push settings. Next video I'll talk about the custom action.